morning. We're here for a WLPC, Wireless LAN Professionals Conference. This happens to be the 13th one of these we've done. Kind of excited. It's like, yeah. And the reason for the conference, and I've said this lots of times, but we have a lot of first-timers here. You'll know you're a first-timer if you look on your badge, and it's got a green circle, and if it says FT. That means if you see someone else who has an FT, be nice to them. Talk to them, invite them to go with you because it's their first time here. In fact, how many first-timers do we have? I don't know. Maybe you won't come back after this. But apologies, when we looked at the floor plan for this building, we did not see big pillars. So if you're presenting, you might want to walk around so they can at least have a chance to see you every now and then. But at least we have slides for everyone. You should see the slides in front of you.
Survey next time.
Do what?
Survey, yeah, for survey.
Yeah. Well, we did, but just didn't see the... Anyway, and we were here last year upstairs. So the reason for WLPC, going back 6 years ago, I had attended tons of conferences in my life for the last couple decades, and most conferences are about the vendors. There's vendor booths, there's vendor speaking slots, there's more vendor booths, and it's about, oh, a vendor sponsored lunch, and the vendor sponsored this, and the vendors are there because they want leads. So they're paying money to get leads so they can talk to you nicely, but they want to turn you into a customer. I kind of didn't enjoy that very much because I didn't like being the customer. I wanted to go and learn, and I wanted to go see, and I'd look at some booth and it would have a thing that just says company name, and they're like, talk to me. I'm a spider, and this is my web, and if I catch you in it, I just want to stand and learn about your company. Tell me what you do before I step forward and have you talk to me. So I thought, there's no wireless conference just for wireless folks. Come on in, people. It's going to be crowded. Just take a seat wherever there's an empty seat. In fact, if everyone shows up, there will be no empty seats. It's kind of like an airplane. We filled all the seats. And so I thought, oh, we should have a conference. And if I wanted to make a conference, I'm going to make it the way I want it. And the way I want a conference is, it's not about vendors. It's about the people. I want to go to some place where I have friends who don't mind talking about the same things I like talking about for hours. And last night was just proof. Anyone here for the little reception thing? It was so loud. Everyone was just talking. I don't know if they were talking loud or the alcohol changed the volume in. But people are having a good time. So really, this conference is about the people, it's about the tech, and it's not about vendors. Now, our very first speaker, Coleman here, is with Extreme/AirHive/AirSpy, right? AirSpy was his company before he went to AirHive. But he's not talking about AirHive. He's talking about the technology behind it. Now he'll be using some AirHive tools. There's a lot of the speakers who have vendor ties. But they're not here because they have vendor ties. They're here because we sent out a survey to hundreds of people and said, here's the possible choices you might want. Which ones do you want? And the ones that ranked high get 55-minute slots. The ones who ranked nearly as high get the 30-minute slots. And the 10 talks are people who had a really good idea and they added. Just so you know, half of the presentations that were submitted didn't even make it into the queue. So we have twice as many people who want to talk. That's good. That means the community is live and vibrant, and there's some really cool things to talk about. If you had one of those presentations that you sent in, submitted, and you didn't get chosen, work on your marketing skills. When you write up something and it's really boring, no one will vote for it. So think, what do I want to see? I'm not saying bait and switch, Ben Miller. Sorry, some of you got that joke. He had a WPC in the past, a guy named Ben Miller put this really cool idea we wanted that he got voted really high, and then he stood up and went, yeah, that one that voted really high, I don't want to talk about that, and he changed the topic on the time. That will not happen ever again. That's not cool. So, the reason I say this about the people, it's about you. You're here so you can hang out with other people who do the same things you do. That's our target. That's what we're planning to do for the next little bit. So just a couple numbers about this conference. We had 6 boot camp sessions. How many of you were boot camp attendees? Thank you. Yeah, 40% of the people came for the extra 3 days beforehand. So if you're not a boot camp attendee and you're a first timer and you walk in like, these people all know each other. No, they just spent the last 3 days together, so it kind of feels that way. If you're ever standing in a crowd talking, and there's 3 or 4 of you, try to leave an opening physically so someone can walk in and join with you as well. 25% of our attendees are actually also presenters. We don't do the whole paid presenter bit. If you want to talk here, you have to, one, put a presentation idea in, has to be voted, and you also have to be an attendee. Because there's more than enough good ideas in this room. We don't need anything else. And we also have about 7% of the people who are here are instructors of some kind. So here's our agenda for the day. Well, for multiple days. In the different types, there's sessions, which are 55 minutes long. We have 3 of those. We have about, I think, 14 shorts, and shorts are 30 minutes long, or shoot for 28. Got to have some transition time here. And then we have 10 talks. 10 talks are 10 minutes long. I've got a timer up here, and when you're talking, I will start the timer, and when it gets down to 10 minutes, I will stand up and take away your microphone. You have 10 minutes. Now, you might have an hour's worth of presentation material. You still only have 10 minutes. So one of the issues with 10 talks is they didn't get as many votes as the longer ones. That means not everyone wanted it. So it might be a really cool idea, but only half the people in the room want it. Rather than, and we've tried this in the past, every time we do a new WLPC, we try to find some new ideas, new techniques, try things that people want. We used to split into tracks. So there's the main session, and then we had a track for this stuff and a track for that stuff, and people would go, and then, Blake had a session that, had 10 people, and next door had 100, and Blake felt so bad. And the air wall in between didn't work, and so they would clap in one side, and then Blake would feel bad, so. Instead, we said, why don't we have 2 tracks? Why don't we have everyone sit? But if we make it only 10 minutes, and if it's a topic you don't care about, chill. 10 minutes from now, you have a new topic. You don't just, check your email or something, but rather than get people to move around and change things. But what we also did, and we started this a couple years ago in Budapest, and we added something, we call them deep dives. In this case, we've increased the amount of time, and right now they run about 2.5 hours, twice. So it's about 5 hours of deep dive, split between 2 days, where you get to do stuff. Anybody here at Budapest? Yeah, how was that little Odroid we made? Took a while, but it was kind of fun, and some people got it to work. Yeah, it was a little single board computer that didn't have it was headless, so there was no screen, so you just loaded software on it and went, come on. And then you look, and if the link light went on, it worked, and if it didn't, oh, well, I guess it didn't work. Let's try it again. We've improved and went along the way. So we have deep dives, and a lot of times you go to a conference. In fact, some of our earlier conferences, it was about the bag. What's in the bag? You get a bag. Some of you last night checked in and you got an envelope. That's it? Well, not really. That's it for last night. We've tried. Matthew, remember Dallas, where we had bags, and each bag was unique to the individual, times a couple hundred unique bags, and then stuff we had. How many times did we open those bags? Like 7 times to add something. So we went to this deep dive now, and this afternoon, when you attend your deep dive, you will have a little tag, and on your tag will have a color, and the color will say you're supposed to be in this session, and when you walk in the door, you will get all your cool stuff. So over on this side, we'll have the pen testing, And for Phil's pen testing class, you'll get a Raspberry Pi preloaded, a couple NICs, a screen, a keyboard, and all the things to do the pen testing labs. We have WLPIs for the Wireshark and the WLPI class. The soldering class is upstairs, and you'll get all the soldering tools. So yeah, we still have really cool bags, because I know you like stuff. But it's more about the stuff than the bag. And so those are in the afternoons. So today, we'll have the schedule on, I'll get a little more details. In the evening, tonight, NetAlly has a session from, say, 6:15 to 7:15, and we'll drop them in the center section right here. The evening events are totally optional. They're not part of the conference. They're just extra. So, yeah, there's vendors at a conference, but they have to give you food. So I don't get anything. We don't charge vendors anything to be here. They work directly with hotel, and if they want to entice you to come to their session, they will give you something to eat, maybe something to drink. We'll see. So NetAlly was one tonight. Tomorrow night we have one for CommScope, and then tomorrow night we have a special thing from the Wireless LAN Association. It's going to be a quiz night. Where's Peter? Oh, right in front. Peter, tell us here.
So, I don't know how many people do pub quizzes. Us Brits, we like to drink, and we also like to do pub quizzes. Now, so it's going to be a wireless pub quiz. And from my point of view, every time I get asked to be in a pub quiz team, I'm always like, no, is there a wireless LAN round? The answer is normally no. So this is going to be a pub quiz with every round is going to be about Wi-Fi. How cool is that? So it's going to be done in teams. So start thinking about putting teams together, about 10 people in a team. About.
I'm on your team.
So just out of interest, how many CWNEs are there here? But stand up if you're CWNE. Stand up if you're CWNE. Yeah, stand up. Everybody else, look around the room. These are the people you want on your team. Go and talk to them, invite them onto your team. Then I might split it up. So, yeah, go have a think about team. If come tomorrow night, you still don't have a team, come along, we'll come and join a team. Everyone's friendly, so we'll just find teams and put it together, but it'll be about 10 people. There's going to be pizza. We've ordered 70 pizzas, so we could do with everybody turning up to eat a pizza. And there's going to be a cash bar, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks. Okay. So the sessions on the other side are David Coleman's first one this morning. Yeah, I always call him Coleman because his co-author is also David. So it's either Coleman or Westcott. Yeah, like I'm the only one who does that, right? And then this afternoon's session is Francois as well. If you are one of these shorts, yay, that's your 30-minute sessions, and they're timed there. If you see your session on the schedule, be ready and go back and talk with Ben, and Ferne's probably back there to help you get mic'd up. So you have your mic, so you're ready to start right on time. Yeah, first one up, Anders. Could you, like, not now, but before the end of David Coleman's talk, go back and get mic'd up about 10 minutes before, so you're ready to swap right out. Up on the screen, up here we have HDMI, and we anticipate all of you to bring your own thing to project with. Plug into HDMI. If you don't have one, try to get one before you stand up here. Don't get up and go, oh yeah, does anybody have an adapter? No. Okay, so we have 30-minute sessions. We also have 10 talks. A couple of simple changes here. One, number 3 on your paper is David Coleman. That's because I made a mistake and I put Coleman in the same day twice. So gratefully, Wes Purvis has swapped. So David Coleman went to 13 and Wes Purvis is 3. So when you see him on your paper, you go, wait, Wes looks an awful lot like Coleman. For the 10 talks, Timo Sass was sick. He's not going to be here for his talk, which means all of the talks shift up. we have an hour-long slot for 10 talks. If you all take exactly 10 minutes, we'll have time to move them up. If we have time to move them up, we have time to add more people at the bottom. So I strongly encourage you, if you have a really cool topic, Renee, he's like, I have a topic. What is it? I don't know yet, but I have a really cool topic. And how many, you like presented at 12 of these, so I feel pretty confident he'll be okay doing this. But if you want one, come talk to me, and we can stick some more in the end. If you don't need to, kind of like budgets, this is not a school district or a government agency. You don't need to use your whole time. Just because there's 3 minutes left. Okay, and by the way, if you do this, I will turn your mic off. You have 3 minutes left, you go, any questions? No, we do not do questions. There's questions in the hall, there's questions out there. If someone has a question in a 10 talk, it was only 10 talk. Half the people in the room didn't want to hear what you said anyway. So waiting and have another question, we just want to move on. So that's 10 talks. We also have deep dives, and the deep dive colors are over here. So Zurich 3 over here is Phil's for wireless pen testing. 2, the red people, they're in this room for Wireshark. In between, right before, there's a break right before the deep dives. Everyone leave the room. We reset the air walls down. We bring all your kits in. And then as you come in, we'll check to make sure you're in the right room. If you signed up for one and you go, oh, I really want to go to the other one, too bad. We ordered stuff. We made the kits. It's all ready. We don't have any spares. So go to the one you signed up for. Green is Zurich 1. Over there is WMPI. APIs is 4. It's the room on the other side here. You go out and around. And for the guys in the API one, I feel really bad. You don't get a bag. You get a missed AP. I'm sorry. It's just their top of the line one. Don't worry about it. And then soldering's upstairs in Praha, which is you go up like you went to the breakfast room, and there's a door on your left, kind of a black glass door, and that's where that one's going to be. And you're in there for both afternoons. So, well, we already talked about the things. You're going to pick them up as you go into your session. How many of you are on Twitter? I'll ask the reverse question. How many of you are not on Twitter? Leave your arms up. I hereby swear. Now, you laugh. It's not funny. If you're not on Twitter, how are you communicating with everybody? We have an entire community on Twitter. A couple weeks ago, somebody was presenting at CWMP conference, and he goes, I hate Twitter, so I never use it. But we really think we should have a community in a way we can all talk. We do. Now, some people like Anders, who's on Twitter all the time, I bet in the morning in Sweden, there's not a lot of traffic. And what happens about 2 or 3 in the afternoon? Yeah, so come on, Europeans, get on board. Anders is lonely sitting there. But we also have a Slack group. So if you're not a Twitter person and you want to do Slack instead, there's a Slack group for Wi-Fi pros. It's not WLAN pros, it's separate from me. If you email to either Manon or Sam, Manon's, it's May 149 on Twitter, or Samuel Clements on Twitter. But if you send them a DM on Twitter, they'll give you access to the Slack. But I got, just from Sam this morning, this little link. If you use it, you can self-register, and you don't need to talk to Sam or Manon, and you can join. That link's only good for 7 days, so yeah, I like that. Taking pictures, good. You could write it down, but why? Just take a picture. So if you want to join that Slack group, it also has, one, it doesn't have the limitations of Twitter's small things, and it allows a little more, and there's some channels, so highly recommend that. Now, quick point on how to present. Do not start and say, my name is this, and I work here, and these are the things I do, and this, we don't care. Really. I don't care what you do. And I mean, your name's kind of cool. It'll be nice on the slide, on the projection. Your name's already there. If you repeat it, go ahead. But what you do and why you're there, and please, please don't start with something like, well, the problem is BYOD. BYOD is when people bring their own device, and you set out the problem statement. We are not marketing people. We're technical people. Everyone in the room knows what BYOD is. You don't have to repeat it, so start right in. Especially for 10 Talk people, maybe your intro takes 7 seconds. And then get into the meat of what you're trying to do. We did some training sessions with some people who wanted to be better at doing 10 Talks, and we've taken people's 1-hour presentation and they can get it in 10 minutes. There's only 10 minutes of good stuff in most presentations anyway, well, except for Coleman's, of course. This one of the best quotes I like, Teddy Roosevelt said, "Be in the arena." I really strongly support this idea. You're here. That means you're in the arena. But just don't be physically here. What'd you say, read only? Don't be read only, engage. Don't be afraid. Don't critique. Just engage and talk. There's hundreds of people here in this room, all who like Wi-Fi, do Wi-Fi, talk about Wi-Fi. Their wives and spouses don't like when they talk about Wi-Fi, so they're here to talk to you. Let them talk to you. Share about that. Just a little hint, we also, WM Pros and a place called Titan Ranch. It's in Arkansas. We have some training sessions there, so if you'd like to come to Arkansas and have a class inside of a missile silo, we got a couple of them coming this fall. Peter's teaching a CWAP there as well. So be engaged, have fun, enjoy. You're in a room full of other people who like the same things you like. Questions? Right. No questions. I like that. We're supposed to go in that way. All right, let's start the conference. First up, Mr. David Coleman.